Welcome everyone to today's episode. We are nearly at the end of season 2. Not so long to go now, but I've got an incredible episode for you today. Now, there's a lot of this in the news and it's all over socials at the moment, but we are going to tackle
ADHD and the menopause.
That's right. We're going to be talking lots on that today. I have got some guests with me. I'm going to be introducing them to you a little bit later. But before we do that, I just want to explain to you, if you're not sure what ADHD actually means. So this is from the NHS website. Okay. So ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's a condition where the brain works differently to most people. So if you have ADHD, you may have trouble with things like concentrating and sitting still, amongst other things. However, did you know that in the menopause, some women start to realise that there is something other than the menopause going on and they get diagnosed with ADHD? It is a common thing. And most of the time it's because the ADHD is actually there, but it's just been heightened from the menopause. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today with our guests, because estrogen will play a massive part in that, and we want to know a bit more about it. So what is coming up today? Well, in part 1, I'm going to be talking to the 2 lovely ladies who have both got ADHD. So we're going to be discussing their journeys, and you will recognise them because they've both been here before. And they were here on the Fibromyalgia episode. So I'm going to ask them to unmute and welcome both Julia and Nicky.
Hello.
Bye. Little clap for you both. Hi, ladies. How are we doing?
Yeah, good.
We're all excited,
Okay.
raring
Looking
to go.
forward to tonight.
Yes, and I think a lot of ladies are really going to look forward to this today. All right, so as we know, Menopause Dinners is 2 things. It's not only about talking about menopause and the dinners, actually that's 3. There's always a quiz, and we love a quiz. So today's quiz is symptoms of ADHD, and this is the bit where I'm going to keep quiet and the ladies are going to tell me what their symptoms are or what they know.
Are you ready? 20 seconds start now.
Go.
Directness,
Yeah, directness, hyperfocus,
masking,
10 seconds remaining.
money, burnout,
5,
yeah,
filter, interrupting conversations,
2,
dimming,
1.
rejection sensitivity.
Time's up.
I'll just let you go, Nick.
It's a list.
There is a list. Oh my God, there's quite a lot in there. I mean, I've got a list. So we've got to go through that list again, because I've got on here, so being easily distracted or forgetful, finding it hard to organise your time, hard to follow instructions or finish tasks, losing things like wallet, mobiles or keys, and let's face it, as we said, you know, well, as I mentioned earlier about menopause, that can just be menopause, really. I'm always losing my keys. And hyperactivity, kind of like lots of energy, feeling restless, talkative, or interrupting conversations. Love that one. And making quick decisions without thinking what might happen. What do you think on that last one? Do you think that's...
on which one? About decision making?
Yeah.
Impulsivity, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
it's
tell me.
It's more sort of, sometimes I need a lot of time and information and research to make a particular decision. Other times I don't need virtually any information at all, and just say, yeah, I'm in, or yeah, that's fine, or yeah, let's do it, you know. And there's no need for that extra information because I feel so confident in what I'm thinking, if that makes any sense.
It does.
For example, I was living in Swansea and I needed to buy a house elsewhere. And I actually, well, my daughter FaceTimed me because I was unwell, so I couldn't view the house. So my daughter, who was 16 at the time, went with two friends to view a house. She was like that with FaceTime. And by the end of it, I said, "Do you like it?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, we'll have it." And that was, do you know what I mean? So that we bought the house based on a FaceTime, and it was the right decision at the time.
That's mad. I mean, we're going to talk about symptoms in a second because there's quite a lot to explore there, I think. Yeah. Okay, I've got a few questions on that, but I'm going to sit tight. Let's talk about diagnosis first of all. Nicky, can you tell everyone when you got diagnosed with ADHD and what the process was for you, if that's okay?
Yeah. So I got diagnosed nearly 2 years ago. And I was on the waiting list for over 2 years for the diagnosis.
Wow. Okay. So can we just tell everyone where you are in your menopause?
So 10 years ago, I had a hysterectomy due to endometriosis. And it's only been the last couple of years that I've noticed since the menopause, my ADHD has got worse.
Mm.
So do you think before the menopause, do you think that you were showing any signs of ADHD, or do you think that it was like what I said in the beginning where it started to unravel?
It definitely started to unravel. I always knew I was different. Used to get a lot of people who used to laugh with me, not at me. I got used to say that all the time. But I think joining the NHS over 10 years ago, I had a friend who would say, "Right, Nick, I'm just going to let you know this is what you do this, you do that." But being in that kind of job, I wasn't aware that I was doing these things. Mm-hmm. So that made me more aware. And that was probably one of the reasons why I got my diagnosis.
Right. And it was it took 2 years to get fully diagnosed. So what did you...
No. So it was a 2-year wait.
Oh,
and
right.
then it was, the diagnosis, I would say, was over about 4 months.
So why do you have to wait 2 years? I mean, what was is it NHS or?
NHS. I know that there is something called the right to choose, which is ending soon. And you fill out the form, you find the person that, like the company, wherever it is in your area, you drop it off at the doctors, they sign it, and then it's a less weight on the right to choose, but it is ending like soon, apparently.
Oh, right. Okay, so, and then what was part of the diagnosis? What did they get you to do? What kind of things?
So I had to talk about my earliest memory, what I was like in school, what it was like growing up, throughout school, interactions with other people, and then up into adult life. So it was quite, what is the word? I think it was quite difficult to sort of go back into the past and talk about all that kind of stuff.
Right. So all of that, any kind of written tests?
No.
No written tests?
Over the time that we were chatting, which was a couple of months, he was writing notes and he'd ask like certain questions and sort of just put 2 and 2 together, sort of building a picture. I took a friend in who, I think when you've got ADHD, you're not aware of the things that you do and you say that are different to other people. It's only when somebody else points it out. So I took my friend who would say, "Well, Nicky, you do this and you do that." Because unless somebody points it out, you just think it's normal.
Can you give us an example of something?
So I would say fidgeting is terrible. Like my hands are constantly like that. I can't sit still. Interrupting conversations is probably one of my big ones. So you would have like a manager that was having a conversation with, could be the big boss, and I just go over to them and just sort of butt in the conversation and then tell them what I need to say. It's like you've got no.
You're going to do that today. But yeah, it's all right. It's all right if you do it today. It's perfectly fine if you do it today, because it's wow.
Yeah, but I'm learning to stop it. Also, a massive one is rejection sensitivity. So I've been researching about the ADHD, and I am very, very defensive, and I've been told it by other people. And say, for example, you get called to the manager's office, you could be going in to talk about your off duty or your rota, and I'm like, I'm in trouble. And I think sort of you think that you're going to get into trouble because you're going into the manager's office, and I get dead defensive, and I don't know, it's supposed to be like a coping mechanism or something.
Wow. So no, you'll understand this in a minute after we've spoken to Julia, but no ECG done?
No. They try and see, so they also think I'm autistic as well. So I've been waiting over 2 years now for my autism test. They did wonder whether I was bipolar, but they said that I wasn't.
Okay.
But they were considering it.
I'm just going to say, my sister's been told after she's been waiting to see someone, she's got to have an echo done. And
Can I ask why they'd want an echo done?
Well, I know, an echo and an ECG to
It's your brain, not your heart.
I know.
Yeah, so the only reason they might want to do that maybe is if you were going to go down the medication route.
Yeah.
And see what your starting ECG is like, because it can affect a certain interval in ECG.
Right, okay.
In timing interval of the URS, morphology, etc., which can provoke arrhythmias.
Yeah, because she's been struggling to get a diagnosis. She had one for like yourself, for about a few years, and now they're kind of saying, no, you've got to have it redone again because it was so long ago. So, Julia, what about your diagnosis? Similar or earlier than the menopause?
No. So my daughter went through, a bit of a tricky time during her teenage years, and was sort of looking to get diagnosed or go through a diagnosis pathway anyway. NHS, I know what Nicky said now was about 2 years. It was even longer here in Wales. And I think she was on the list for over 3 years plus. Anyway, we had a big traumatic event in 2022. We had a house fire, and things just came to a standstill, really, in mine and hers life. And I took some time off work, and my daughter got diagnosed privately. And following that conversation with the person who diagnosed her, because like Nicky said, we got to talk about your family and all this kind of thing. He said, I think it might be worth your mum, going for screening as well. And she was the one, bless her, to come back and say this to me. And I was like, what? Really? And then we are very close anyway, and sort of through conversation and through her diagnosis, and then us sort of processing that together. And I think it was everything just came together in one big thing that year, and it was like, right, okay, maybe I need to, because I was struggling, but I didn't know why I was struggling so much. So I went for the screening. It came back that I've got mixed ADHD with autistic traits. And again, I spent a lot of time processing that. I was also trying to get some, because I wasn't on HRT at the time, so how old was I then? About 52. So there's lots of things going on with me, mentally and physically, where I just didn't feel right. Lots of things weren't right. And following the diagnosis and reading about it and going to my GP and talking to them about the menopause and all the rest of it, I eventually got referred to a menopause clinic. So I didn't go on ADHD meds. I went on HRT. So yeah, that was my.
Okay, so kind of similar trauma that happened. So you could potentially have had, have had, ADHD for quite some time, and just it being there and not.
Yeah, so I think the thing I've learned, and this is per person obviously, is that everyone, how it displays, how it presents itself, how it evolves, and how it continues changes throughout your lifetime. So when I was younger, my sort of personality then, I would say, and with my daughter, we've talked loads about it, seemed to be more ADHD, whereas now it seems to be more autistic.
Right, okay. And just to, I can't remember if, I can't remember, we've all got brain fog. If I said it in the beginning that both Nicky and Julia have fibromyalgia, which is why I said they were on the fibromyalgia episode. So here's so I'd want to kind of talk about the symptoms a little bit, what you two have been expressing, because there was something that I kind of picked up on, and I want to know your symptoms, but I also want to know that, it sounds like everyone's got very, very personal symptoms with ADHD from what you just said, Julia. So It's not a classic case of tick, 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 tick.
No. And also, sorry.
No. Sorry.
I'm doing Nick. The thing is, right, is that I am an interrupter as well.
That's okay. So am I. Nicky, join in. Interrupt. Come on.
I'm doodling not for me not to interrupt you.
It's all right. Don't worry. But sometimes interruption is good because you've got a valid point, and that's why we have mute buttons on Zoom. So, Nicky, tell us about your symptoms. Have they changed? What can you recognise as ADHD?
Yeah, I would say the last couple of years, burnout is a massive one. I think I'm busy all the time. I fill my day with stuff. Even when I'm in work, I take on too many jobs. And then after a couple of months, I would say I get really burnt out, where I can't do anything else. Other symptoms, I would say, or other things that I do is starting a conversation. Everyone always says, Nicky's a storyteller. So I'll start a conversation, but then that conversation branches off because I feel like I need to explain. And then the whole conversation ends up branching off into 10 different stories. And then eventually I end up back at the beginning of the story I was telling in the first place.
I have stories like that. When people talk to me like that, I say it's like someone getting on a bus going to London, getting lost,
Dropping off at Birmingham,
going
stopping
Birmingham,
off in
and then
Manchester.
eventually they come back. Eventually they come
Around the
back.
houses.
Yeah,
Yes.
is that a fair enough comment?
Yeah, 100%.
Also, I forget what I'm talking about, and I have to ask the person who I'm talking to remind me and put me back on track.
Oh God.
my daughter is a very big going around the houses, and so sometimes I'll say to her, yep.
Yeah.
Hurry up,
like
hurry
this,
up.
bless her, because
Yeah.
because of the detail and the minutiae in the conversation, and it's so precise. She's so I mean, it's hilarious.
That
and
is funny.
we have these like ping pong conversations going back and forth, but I can't interrupt her, and I can't minimize the story because it has to be that story with all the detail in it.
It's funny, isn't it?
There's no way of minimizing it.
So she's basically not got on a bus. She's got on a plane.
She's gone on like a world cruise.
World cruise, stopping off every destination.
yeah.
Any other kind of symptoms, Nick?
I have no filter whatsoever. So when you're in, like, say, a group setting or when you're in work, everybody else always has that thought, ooh, and then they don't say it because it's so inappropriate or it's naughty or it's not the right thing to say.
Do you say it?
Yeah, but then I always end up saying it, and everybody laughs. Some people are quite shocked who don't know me. But I'm only saying what everyone's thinking but wouldn't say. But I don't have that thing, that filter to stop me from saying it. I mean, a couple of years ago, I was Googling Tourette's of the mouth because I felt like I had Tourette's because I couldn't control what was coming out of my mouth.
You kind of got... verbal diarrhea. That's what you mean,
but I was
isn't it?
upset as well because I don't like upsetting people, and I can't help it. It just comes out. I mean, I do try now to.
Is it like a compulsion to say it?
Yes, like it's like that thing where you don't say it, and it just comes out. But most people do find it funny, but I can offend people as well. I'm a bit more light.
Fair enough.
Do you think, Nicky, as well, it's because it's the truth?
Yeah, it is the truth.
Are you because I think people with ADHD have got a really strong sense of justice.
Yes.
And it's the truth. And why wouldn't you not say the truth? It's the truth. So why is everyone playing this game? It's that, I think, I don't know about you, Nicky, but I can't stand playing games like, oh, you mustn't say this and you mustn't say that, and oh, we have to be a certain way. It's that thing of, well, no, everyone's thinking of it. Why isn't anyone saying it then? Do you think it's a bit of that as well?
It is, but when you're in work and you have to be a certain way, sometimes it's hard. But my patients used to love me for it. I mean, I was that I'm that, like, first thing in the morning, I'm 100 miles an hour. People are just sort of opening their eyes in work and just sort of getting, like, having a cup of coffee and whatever. I'd still have my coffee. But I was like, just like, this hyper person.
I'd like you to be my nurse, Nicky. I think you'd make me laugh.
No, Nurse Nicky, I'll look after
No, I
you.
think you would. I'd like you rather than some boring fart that's got to stick a thermometer up your backside and it's got like a face like a slapped arse. Julia, what about your symptoms? Anything similar, different?
Yes, yeah. So the thing is, as well, the ADHD presents so differently in females too, and this has only been recognised really fairly recently. So a typical sort of ADHD diagnostic criteria was based on young boys. Yeah. So it's like, so the typical sort of image then is a little boy or whatever, hyperactive, running around all the time, bouncing off the walls. But with females, a lot of it is internal. So it's a lot of rumination and replaying, just constant replaying of conversations, of things that have happened, of past memories, of just all sorts of things, and it's just on a constant loop. So I've got constant images coming into my head 24/7. So it's like a layering effect. It's quite weird, I think, if I try to explain it. I see it, each memory, almost like a sheet of like rice paper. So it would like memory, and it just comes layering up all the time, and it could be anything from song lyrics to where I went 25 years ago, to something that happened last week, to whatever. But it's this constant sort of mental imagery that I can't really stop.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't know if I've ever said that out loud before.
It makes sense because you've put it into like a perspective which I've never really thought of, but when you're saying it, I can relate to it.
Oh, really?
Your brain, it's like constantly,
yes.
It's never quiet.
It's never, so it's never, I don't think, completely quiet. So I was trying to learn to crochet last night. And during that time, because I was so focused on it, I think it actually stopped during that time. But as soon as it stopped and I went back to, going back home and driving home and whatever, boom, it starts again. And I think I'm so used to it now. But it's a very odd thing to explain.
Well, so it's more like a lot of overthinking.
Oh, it's not even so overthinking to me is something different.
Okay. All right.
So it's like having this constant mental image catalogue. When you see people flicking through pages, and it's like, it's a bit like that, but each one will last maybe a second or 2 seconds.
That's really intense.
Yeah,
that's really intense.
It's a constant, like almost like a kaleidoscope then of just images, or all these things, and that's not including rumination. So rumination is, I got fixated on one particular thing for years. And again, I didn't tell anyone about it because I didn't know what it was. So one particular image, one particular experience, and it just went on and on. And because there's no conclusion, you go back to the beginning. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. So a lot of ADHD for women is psychological. So you may present, sort of, for want of a better word, quite normal.
And I think by you both talking about it, I mean, there's no way that a doctor can tell you that. Or
they can't. They wouldn't be able to visually see.
They
wouldn't
can't.
know because you might come across as quite articulate, quite well spoken.
But I think that's brilliant. Sorry, to kind of say that, because if someone is listening that is maybe thinking, I think I might have ADHD. This could be quite one for them because Nicky was agreeing with you and. Yeah, and I understand it a little bit, but I don't understand it a lot. So it's good to kind of really put it into that context. Any other things at all that you?
So So Nicky says she's constantly on the go. I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I used to be much more because I got more physical limitations now. I am able to sort of sit and rest and draw and watch TV and all these sort of things. But I've got what they call cricket feet. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Oh, you do. I do that. I do that. I constantly have
What, when
my
you're sitting?
feet, you put your feet together and they rub like that.
They rub together. So I always wear socks and Crocs in the house. I don't wear slippers. I wear Crocs. So I do it. I've been doing it the whole time we've been speaking. And I didn't realise.
Can you show us, please? Can you put your...
Oh, really?
I'm mucking around.
I've got gym jams on. I've got gym jams. Hang on, let me see if I can do it. So.
Oh, my God. I never knew this. This is amazing.
You rub your feet together. If they're your feet, you're doing this.
So I'm just doing this sort of thing all the time. And then I'll push the Croc off and I'll twiddle it around. But if I haven't got my Crocs on, then I'll just be doing it with my socks, and then I'll push the sock up and over the foot, and all this kind of sort of...
Is that like fidgety stuff, would you say?
Yeah, they call it cricket feet. And I didn't... Again, that's something I learned recently.
It's stimming, isn't it?
It is a form of stimming, yeah. Again, I didn't know that. So in bed... I do it in bed, and it's just, you can hear...
It's another X-rated one coming up. X-rated podcast. You've got to be over 21 for that one.
And I didn't realise it was the thing, and I can remember an ex-partner sort of said, "Will you stop doing that?" And I was just like,
"Your legs still."
And I was like, "I don't even know what you're on about." He said, "You can stop rubbing your feet all the time." I was just like, "Oh, am I doing that?" Or I'm a tapper as well, so I'll tap like that. So when my dog's next to me, poor dog, I'm constantly smoothing and tapping and rubbing, and
they must love it. Your dog's probably the most happiest dog in the world.
But it's very. It's very particular, the things, and of course, if someone, like you're saying, Nicky, if someone's observing you,
it makes it worse.
It's like, oh right, I can't, and that thing with my hands. So I've been writing and drawing the whole time that we've been speaking, and it's that thing with my hands. So great previous nail biter and picker, and if my hands are busy, then I can't do it.
I've got to say something. There's a few things that you two have mentioned that I actually do, and no, serious. I'm being deadly serious, because when you was talking in the beginning about having to know each detail. Oh, yeah. Okay, so a few years ago, I was trying to learn to swim, and it didn't go very well, but what actually happened was he was trying to get me on my back, and I said to him I'd like to learn on my back. So you're looking at someone that's petrified of water, okay?
Okay.
And he tried to do it, and I freaked out. And that night I come home, I went on YouTube because I needed to know how the mechanical function of my body would be underneath the water, what I'm meant to be doing. And I went back the next day and I did it. It didn't last. Didn't last long. That's another story. But it took me to that straight away, and I thought, I did it again with something else. And I said if he wanted me to jump in, and this happened a few years back. Someone, a different instructor, said jump in. I said, what happens when I jump in? What will happen to my body when I jump in? And they're like, well, you'll come up. I said, okay, well, I come straight up. I asked him so many questions, and there's other things that you said, and I'm like, it's like what?
it's knowing the why and the how and the what. So talking about this crocheting again from last night, and my friend, she's so patient. She's so patient, and once I got the visual aspect, I've been a good hour or so doing this this one sort of stitch then, and it was like, and then we turn it around because we're creating a square, and it was like, oh right. Okay, so once I got the visual aspect, and I am a very visual person.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
I understood the principle of what we were doing, and it's that thing of understanding the principle of something, and until you get the principle of it, it's not going to happen.
That is me.
I find that if someone breaks, so I had a friend that used to break things down into bite-sized chunks to explain, because simple things weren't understandable for me.
Yeah.
So they break it down into bite-sized chunks for me to understand, and that was the way I used to get things.
Yeah, bullet points.
Yes.
Bullet points. So when I went back to work, having had the diagnosis, and this going back 4 years ago, I sort of told my manager, my support manager and everything. And they were very good, actually, because they knew then that these sort of really long, blurby, going around the houses kind of emails used to drive me mad. And I'd switch off from it.
Yeah.
I'd totally couldn't get engaged with it at all. Give me a bullet point. Do this.
Give me a bullet point. You say that to someone. If you have a conversation with someone, can you bullet point it? If you could see my notes, they're bullet points. Ladies, can I ask you, medication-wise, Nicky, are you on medication for your ADHD?
Yes, I am on Elvance.
Okay, when did you start that, and has it helped you?
So I was on it for about 8, 9, 10 months. Then I came off it because I was losing weight and I thought it was the medication. But it turns out it wasn't the medication, so I went back on it. Yes, it calms your brain down, but I think you're still a bit jittery on it. But what I find is you have a massive crash in the afternoon. So it's like a come down off the medication.
Oh, wow.
But I also found that I was in a lot more pain while I'm on the medication because of the fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
But I found out the other week, because I was researching, that ADHD medication can also increase your pain.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so where does that leave you now? Are you still going to carry on taking it, or?
I'm umming and ahhing, because sometimes I think to myself, I've been like this all my life, and maybe I should just be myself without the medication, because at the end of the day, the medication is only masking your personality, because it makes you a lot more quieter than what you would be normally. It sort of suppresses everything, but then when it wears off, you're exhausted.
Well, that's no good, because if you're only getting a snippet of a window throughout your day where you're calm, and then you're not, then it's not really. You want something that's going to keep you stable all day long, really.
It's the medication is sort of amphetamines, isn't it? So they say with the ADHD that, for example, stimulants like coffee have a calming effect on people with ADHD. They mention about like recreational drugs and stuff like that have an opposite effect on your brain than what it would do on a normal person.
Okay.
I've lost my train of thought.
It's all right. Julia, what about yourself? Are you on any medication?
No, because again, when I was diagnosed, I felt I was at a crossroads with everything, fibromyalgia, menopause, ADHD, and everything. So I decided, out of everything, I thought HRT would probably be the most appropriate sort of route for me. So that's, once I'd gone to the menopause clinic and everything, I went on HRT, and I think that has stabilised me more.
Yeah.
So I haven't taken it. I wanted to learn about it. I wanted to learn about menopause and fibro and ADHD and everything. And so my lifestyle now is completely different to previously.
Which you are going to share.
Which I'm not going to say anything about.
Yeah, we want people to come back. Yeah, keep it quiet.
So medication-wise, no, I'm not on any.
Okay.
I'm sort of self-managing then.
Okay. So as Julia mentioned, the M word, I just want to talk about estrogen, okay, because what it does, it supports dopamine, which is attention, motivation, execution, function, serotonin, mood, emotional regulation, which is also from progesterone as well, brain fog. Sorry, ladies. So when estrogen drops, obviously less dopamine, which is why a lot of women, when they hit their peri and estrogen starts to decline, then that's when they start getting these symptoms rising. So brain fog, forgetfulness, that's a big one, forgetfulness, losing words, poor focus, irritability, emotional overwhelm, sleep disruption. Quite a lot on there that look like a bit of fibro, menopause and ADHD. So how the hell, I mean, I know the last time we spoke, Julia, about fibromyalgia, you said you just try not to think about that. You just think of your body as a whole, because if you've got three elements going on in your body, which you ladies have, that's a bit of a, I was going to say, that's hard. How the hell do you two kind of, because the symptoms are all together, aren't they? So it's kind of hard to separate a little bit, maybe.
We're used to it.
Yeah, I think over time. So when you say, so when I was, there were symptoms. There's been some symptoms there all along, but not knowing that they were symptoms. You thought they're part of your personality and who you are.
Yeah.
And the estrogen. So my teenage years, I was a bit of a Looney Tune, to be honest, and my teenage years, it was just like lighter fuel going off in my life all the time. And I think that element of the increased estrogen, and then obviously later going through peri and then menopause, it was that sort of inflammatory sort of response in myself that you realise, shit, that wasn't, that was a response to hormones, as opposed to, is that truly me? Was that a response to the change in your hormones in your body? And, when you can reflect back, you can think, oh, blimey, did I really do those things? And did that really happen? And
it's a lot of second guessing, isn't it, with this?
Yeah, but I think like I've spoken to you before, Sarah, about the sort of Venn, I know I always go back to the Venn diagram. And so I think people with fibromyalgia, if you look at anyone who's neurodiverse, a lot of people who are neurodiverse also have comorbidities of fibromyalgia, POTS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and all these other things. So that is something that needs looking at as well. So it's a spectrum of neurodiverse conditions with a spectrum of comorbidities.
That's quite a big word.
I know. I'm hoping I've said it right.
Can you explain that word? Because I've never heard that word before.
It's basically a condition that you wouldn't think could be linked to another condition.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So it's like ADHD and fibromyalgia. So I've met a lot of neurodiverse people, or people who are neurodiverse, that also have chronic illness of some sort.
It's quite, and there's other things as well,
and
like
autoimmune deficiencies and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So, and like POT syndrome. So you've got, and then it's connective tissue disorders and all these things. So it's not, you've got ADHD. It's you've got ADHD, but you may also have dyspraxia, elements of OCD, and all these other things, as well as
it's very common. Very common. I see a lot of women in clinic when they come in, and it's quite funny actually, because they'll say one thing. And then I'll be, so for instance, I'll say, I've got hypermobility, and
there we go, hypermobility.
Yeah, and I'll be like, fine. And then I don't know, there's something about them, and I'll say, are you dyslexic? And they'll be like, you're like, yeah. I said, do you think you might have dyspraxia? Yeah. And they're like, what's that? And I'm like, okay, go and check it out, because I think this sounds like you. Could be wrong, but just go and check it out. And then again with someone else that comes in and having symptoms. So I completely get what you're saying. It's like a knock-on effect. It's like there's something, everyone that has...
I wouldn't say it's quite a knock-on effect.
No, that's the wrong word.
It coexists.
Yeah, it coexists with other things. So if you've got one thing, there's more than likely that there is something else that you're not seeing, underlying. That's better to say. And it's just, I just find it fascinating that, that it's all linked. My sister had fibromyalgia as a teen. So, she had that. And so the ADHD, I mean, she won't mind me saying this, she's definitely got it. She's definitely got it.
Diagnosed. And the thing is, once you've been diagnosed, you end up diagnosing everyone else.
Yeah.
Really, you can...
Okay. I can't even remember what the question was. I think it was about the three together, wasn't it? About how you cope and stuff.
Menopause, fibro, and
would you agree? What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, what do I think about what?
I'm going to leave. I'm not editing that out. That is pure gold. I'm keeping that in. That is staying in.
Talking, I'm trying to think of things, and then they disappear, and then I've come back, and I don't know where we're up to.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. I think you did mention anyway that it's all together. Your ADHD, your fibro, and your menopause. Yeah. Are you like Julia and the fact that you just look at it as one rather than individuals?
It's just bumps in the road, isn't it? And just parts of you. You sort of just get on with it because that's what your life is. But I think what you learn is you learn to live with it, and you learn to sort of mask those little things and try and do other things instead. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what I mean.
Well, if you know what you mean, then that's all that matters. And if you've got a coach or a plane and you're cruising or you're going around the Mediterranean. Ladies, I'm going to wrap up with part one now. I just want to say thank you very much. Before thank you properly, I just want to say to everyone that part two, where the ladies are coming back, we're going to be talking about what they've tried, health-wise, lifestyle, supplementation, CBT, all that kind of stuff, and some other things thrown in there too. And there is another quiz. Did I tell you there's another quiz?
Yay!
Yeah, another quiz. It's a good one. You'll be fine. So I would really, really like to thank both these wonderful ladies. Thank you very much, Nicky.
Welcome.
And thank you, Julia.
You're welcome.
So, Julia, if anyone would like to be a guest on Menopause Dinners, what do they need to do?
If anyone's going through anything to do with menopause, you don't need to be an expert in the field, and no experience or anything like that is necessary. Just get in touch with Menopause Dinners on any of the socials, on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. And also, if failing that, you can get in touch as well by emailing menopausedinners@gmail.com.
Lovely. Thank you very, very much. So, my dears, that was it. It's the end of part 1. It's been exhausting. We've gone around the houses a few times, but we've got there in the end. Don't forget to like, rate or subscribe on any of the platforms you listen. Did you know you can now send us a text function via the podcast or a voicemail? I mean, that's new. Let us know how we're doing. Every bit helps. Any information. So before you go, my final thought to you is that menopause sucks. But guess what? With friends, it sucks a whole lot less. We will see you next time on Menopause Dinners. Menopause Dinners is sponsored by Fitness Therapy for You. Any supplementation or medication we've discussed is from our own experience. If you do have a medical condition, please seek professional advice before trying anything that's been mentioned today.